Hey guys, it's Katie, and today I'm gonna give you guys some tips for sleep. I know personally I struggle with sleep all of the time, and I'm also terrible at taking my own advice, so hopefully you guys do well with this. But I do know it helps, and when I do actually do them, I'm fine with sleep and everything, but I don't know if I have insomnia or I don't know. I used to sleep way too much, like 16 hours a day, and then I wouldn't be able to sleep, and then I'd be up all night, and then I would just have to pull an all-nighter to be able to sleep the next night, and it was getting kind of ridiculous. So I have some tips here that I've learned myself, I've researched, I've discovered, and a lot of them are probably ones you know already, but there's also some in here that you might not have. So I will just get started. So the first one is routine. It's really hard to do, but it makes a lot of sense. And if you know, like babies and stuff, it helps them a lot to have a routine before bed so that their mind knows it's time for bed. If you try to have dinner at the same time every night and kind of do the same things before bed, stuff like that, it should help your mind like realize subconsciously that it's time for bed, and that should help you fall asleep. Next, I have no caffeine past 3 p.m. and that's just supposed to help you get it out of your system before bed so it's easier to fall asleep. So that's like coffee, teas with caffeine, even like chocolate, which I'll talk about later too. I don't know for me if that really affects me at all. I drink coffee, but it's for like fun, just because I like the taste normally, or I just like the vibe of coffee shops and stuff. But anything with caffeine, sodas as well. Then the next one I have is exercise early in the day. If you do it at night, you kind of wake up your system. I mean, you might be exhausted after it, but you kind of wake up your system, and then you might be alert for, a couple hours after exercise. So if you do it earlier in the day, you'll have energy throughout the day, and then like when it is time for bed, you should be more exhausted. This one is a more mental one, which I struggle with too, is like if I have worries and stresses about the day or throughout the day, and then I go to bed, I just lay there and think and just process everything, and I'm thinking about all my worries and all my stresses and everything that's going wrong or whatever, or even exciting things, like I'm excited or anxious about the next day. I'll just be thinking about all that stuff, and then soon it's like 2 a.m. I have to be up at like 7 a.m. and I'm like, shoot, and I'm only gonna get 5 hours of sleep. And then I do that countdown thing where I'm like, if I go to bed now, I'll get like 4 hours and 36 minutes of sleep. And it just starts to stress me out, and it makes it worse because I can't sleep because I'm stressed out. So give yourself permission to worry about worries and stress tomorrow. Like physically say that or think it in your head. I give myself permission to worry about that stuff tomorrow. Like I can't do anything to change that right now. I'm gonna let myself relax, and I give myself permission to worry about that when I wake up in the morning. That being said, also do not force going to sleep. If you're sitting there like stressed out that you're only gonna get this certain amount of sleep when you go to sleep at this exact time and this many, just don't force it. Just relax, because if you're forcing it, it's literally gonna do the opposite. It's gonna keep you up because you're stressed out. So do not force it, just relax. And then the next one I have is take a break and get up briefly. If you're just laying in bed and tossing and turning, and like, just get up, take a break from trying to sleep and do something relaxing, like drink some tea, read a book, something like that, and then soon go back to bed and try again. Because if you're just like rolling like that's not gonna help anything. So the next one I did have was read. If you lay in bed, this is like before you even try, read a book. Read something boring maybe, like nonfiction if you don't like nonfiction, or a topic that you're not interested in, because you don't want to end up really liking a book and then, staying up all night reading the book. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a book you don't like, just a book that, I don't know. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on the person, but get a book and start to try to read. Even books that I'm interested in, like I have a bunch of self-help books that I'm interested in, also like fiction and nonfiction, depends, but self-help it takes a lot for the brain to like process a lot of the books that I read. So I just started one book and I literally read like the first paragraph and passed out. So maybe try that kind of book. And then the next thing I have is meditate. This one's so important. I'm gonna do a completely separate video about this, but This is way less stressful and like way less like this big concept than you think it is. It's actually super simple, but meditating will help you like relax if you do it throughout the day, like in the morning or literally before you sleep. And there's a couple of different options that you can do here, but if you focus on your breathing, there's a bunch of different options, or like count your breathing. That might help you focus instead of having your mind wander. But it's also like a mindful meditation where you're allowed to have your mind wander, but like you try to bring it back. So like if I would be doing it, I would be like in, out, 1, in, out, 2. Oh, and you can do it with your eyes open, but if you're trying to sleep, I guess with your eyes closed, that may help. So yeah, in and out, and so that would be 1, 2, 3, just keep counting. And if your mind wanders, as soon as you realize that your mind has wandered, bring it back and start over. So 1, and make it like deeper than that. I'm just trying to like, be kind of quick for the video. But there's a bunch of different options too, like breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 7, breathe out for 8 seconds, or focus on sound. So just like the air conditioning, cars driving by, like someone talking downstairs, stuff like that. That might help you. So yeah, meditation, it doesn't have to be like, I mean, ideally your posture will be like up and your chest open and you know, your hands out or whatever. But if you're trying to sleep, just like laying there in a comfortable position and breathing, and it should knock you out. And it's also good for your mind. So yeah, I'm gonna do a whole separate video about that. But then I have limit naps to 20 to 30 minutes. I used to nap for like 4 hours. That's like half of a sleep. Like that's what I used to do, and it used to mess up my schedule. I would be so tired and come home and nap for 4 hours. And then I couldn't sleep at night, and then it would happen again. I'd be tired, get up for work an entire day, sleep for another 4 hours. It was ridiculous. So I learned to only nap for 20 to 30 minutes. Normally you wake up feeling really refreshed, and only 20 to 30 minutes because a normal sleep like cycle is 90 minutes. So 20 to 30 minutes is like before you enter deep sleep or REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. So it like refreshes you and you get enough sleep before you enter the deep sleep, because if you're disturbed in the deep sleep, that's when you wake up not feeling refreshed. 20 to 30 minutes. I know you're not gonna want to, but you'll feel a lot better throughout the day, I promise. Next one I have is limit screen time. That includes phones, TVs, anything like that, tablets. Yeah, I think that's all really, but preferably an hour before bed. Oh shoot. Hi, I ran out of space on my SD card, so I think the last thing I was saying was limit screen time, like phone or TV, before bed, and usually like an hour before, just because, I don't know, like the screen like wakes up your brain, I guess, and it's just hard for you to adjust and go back to bed or fall asleep. And then when you actually do sleep, only sleep for about 7 to 9 hours. That's like the average time people need to sleep, and if you actually sleep more than that, one will mess your sleep schedule up because you're probably sleeping later in the day, and then when you try to go to bed earlier, you won't be able to fall asleep. But also oversleeping makes you tired more. Try to limit it to 7 to 9 hours. Some people do need more sleep, especially like teenagers and obviously babies and stuff like that, but yeah, try to limit 7 to 9 hours. I'm probably more of a 9-hour person. And then the next one I have is don't eat or study or watch TV or anything like that in bed, because then your body will subconsciously think bedtime when you go to bed, but if you do all of those other things, it won't realize that. It'll just be like, oh, like you're in bed. And then the last one I have is food. Limit your chocolate and sweet things right before bed. And I also think you can eat before bed. I know there's like controversy with that, like with calories and stuff, like I don't know. You're fine. I like eating before bed, like a snack or something, because I'm a lot happier, like I feel full when it's easier for me to go to bed. That's what I have for you today.